Today, I'm breaking down the wildly popular book Atomic Habits, except with one twist. For cubers. Atomic Habits is a bestseller book regarding how habits change one's life and the effects little and big changes make, breaking bad behaviors and making good ones. But as a cuber, what can we learn from it? After recently reviewing the book, I have found multiple takeaways that I think would be very valuable for cubers and non-cubers alike. And what makes it so valuable is that there's so many great takeaways for everything, but in this video, I'll be applying them to cubing. Designing your environment for success. This section starts off talking about the energy crisis and oil embargo of the 1970s. It talks about how Dutch researchers realized that families who had their energy meters in the hallways instead of the basements had better energy spending habits. They could see their habits, and that made them easier to track. So how can we apply this in cubing? As cubers, we need to adjust our environment for success. Say you want to start simply practicing more. Well, then why are your cubes hiding in your drawer? Put them out on your desk, your nightstand, and make reminders in places you look a lot. If you're like me and you don't drive yet, cube while you're in the car commuting. I can't recommend cubing while you drive, though, for legal reasons. One place you could look is your phone. We all look at our phone a lot. You can set daily reminders on your phone. Or another option, you can use the wallpapers that I made that will be linked in the description that pace out a 30-day cubing themed challenge. So every time you open your phone, you'll see a little reminder. The next point I want to talk about is how we can break bad habits in ourselves and make good ones. Atomic Habits talks about the 4 laws to make a good habit, and there are 4 inversions to break a bad one. The first law, make it obvious. Its inversion, how to break a bad habit, make it invisible. The second, make it attractive. Its inversion, make it unattractive. The third, make it easy. Its inversion, make it difficult. The fourth, make it satisfying. Its inversion, make it unsatisfying. That's kind of a lot, so let's break it down. Make it obvious if you like it. Make it invisible if you don't. This one can be kind of hard for cubing, but it does carry some weight for us cubers. Actively try to stop bad habits like, extra turns, inefficiency, and more. And the more that you actively think about it, the harder it will be to do those habits, therefore making them invisible to our minds. The next. Make it attractive if it's a good habit, make it unattractive if it's a bad one. Let's go back to the example of memorizing a more efficient algorithm. Even though it can be kind of annoying to do, we all have to do it sometimes. You need to change your mindset. Even though it may seem easier to not try to remember the algorithm or go to the lengths of looking it up because you can't remember it, mentally taking the time to remember that makes you a better cuber and will definitely help you in the long run. Make the bad habit unattractive by telling yourself how if you continue with the bad habit, it will be harder to correct later, and you will eventually need to correct it. Another thing that can help this is starting an accountability group chat with other cubers. If you don't have one of these, I made one in my Discord, so you can just go ahead and check it out and announce your goal, and then me and others in the Discord will try to keep you accountable to make sure you are staying on it. Active, because you want to tell those you're participating in accountability with that you're able to complete this. Another thing that will help is setting a punishment for yourself. You don't have to do this, but it'll motivate you if you say, for example, I'm not encouraging this for legal reasons, but I will eat an egg if I don't, memorize these algorithms, something like that. And yeah. On to the next. Make it easy if you should continue with it, but make it difficult if you shouldn't. This step goes back to what we talked about earlier. Reduce friction. Make it easier to work on that event by putting your 2x2 or your 4x4 or your Megaminx or any other cube you want to practice out. Think of things with each step as being small as possible. For example, you could think, pick up the cube, start scrambling, scramble, finish scrambling, inspect for first move, your second, your third. Once you finish expecting, start the timer, solve it, stop the timer. Try mastering the big moment, that moment when you pick up the cube or start solving actively instead of passively. Taking the time to look for each more efficient option, it will get easier as you improve. The last and final step. Make it satisfying if it has a positive impact on your solving. Make it unsatisfying if it doesn't. Say you're really struggling to remember to actively cube instead of passively cube. Basically, this means just paying attention to your habits and what you're doing instead of sitting down and mindlessly solving. Similar to how people describe mindlessly scrolling on the internet. Find a way to make it, satisfying to complete that activity. If you need some extra help, I've made a calendar that you can keep printing out that lists, a cubing challenge, and each day you have to try to check off a box on your calendar, and you need to try to not break the chain. This will be linked in the description, and I think it looks pretty cool. It's cubing themed, so let me know what y'all think. Credit where credit is due, though. I did get this idea from Gohar Kahn and his study tips video, so I'll link his channel in the description. Now, on to our final part of the book to discuss. picking a game at which the odds are in your favor. If you're a cuber, I would say the best way to implement this is finding what you're good at. Think of Timon, Max, and Ruhong. Timon has incredible efficiency. His pseudo-sorting and efficient solutions are unmatched and marveled by thousands. Max has incredible look ahead. He can basically see his entire solve just a few steps into inspecting and beginning his solve. Ruhong has incredible TPS. Watching his solves are like something fly away in Tornado. You can't even track it because it's going so fast. And this is not to say that they're bad at everything else. All I'm saying is they found what they're good at and they stuck with it. They're pretty good at each other's outstanding things. They've doubled down at what they're good at. And I don't think it's a coincidence that all the greats have all these spikes in their solving. They have each found a way to perfectly leverage being good at what they're naturally good at, and have still found a way to be great at the other things. And sure, they might all be naturally good cubers, but they've still worked hard and they found what naturally works. And I think you can too. Well, you might be asking, how can I find my spike? Well, I've broken it down into 4 simple steps. So let me go through them with you. Number 1, do some solves. Any solves work, but the more, the merrier. Number 2, are there any parts of your solves that are just more fun? Number 3, are there any parts of your solves that are just easier? And number 4, are there any other parts of your solves that just stand out? By going through these steps, hopefully you can find some overlap and find your spike. Also linked in the description a more in-depth guide to these steps. Overall, I really enjoyed this book, and if you thought this video was good, I would definitely recommend checking this book out. It was written by James Clear, and he did an incredible job. So yeah, if you like this, definitely go check it out. Thank you for watching, y'all. I really hope you enjoyed. I like this style, so I hope y'all did too. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Peace.